Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Quantel and Snell NAB 2015 press conference. Most of you know me. I think I'm Roger Thornton, Head of Publicity at Quantel and Snell. Do come and look us up on booth SL 2009. That's the front of the south lower. I'm just doing a couple of logistics things. Because of the Sony press conference afterwards, I want to make sure we get through quickly. And we undertake to finish and get you out of here by 1:45. We have buses lined up waiting at the front for anybody who wants to go on. We can take you straight down there, and they should get you to the Mirage on time. And there'll be Sony people waiting at the other end to pick you up. On the issue of press kits, we do have a press kit, and Kimberly Chaplin, who's standing at the back, is going to put her hand up now. If you haven't got one already, do collect one off her on your way out. Without further ado, our VP of Marketing, Neil Maycock, will walk you through all our major announcements at the show. But just before that, I'd like to introduce our new CEO, Tim Thorsteinson. He may be a familiar face to a few of you, but anyway, Tim, if you'd like to kick us off, you'd be very welcome.
You were guarded in introducing me. Don't be afraid. Hi. I'm on a program. If I run every company in the industry, I have a punch card, and I get a free dinner. So I just got a few left. Well, I've been with the combined business now for 5 weeks. I tried to start after NAB, but they wouldn't let me. So I've had a good shot at looking at the technology, talking to all the key managers, promoted Neil to the head of marketing position. Tim Clayman somewhere in the room. Tim? Stand up there, Tim. Yeah. Appointed Tim as our CTO. And formed sales into 3 regions: Americas, Asia Pacific, and Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. And more to follow, but we've got that done in the first 5 weeks. My initial reaction is it's 2 proud businesses that have great technology that need to be combined so that 1 + 1 = 3. So my job over the next, and the management team's job over the next little short period of time, because we want to go into IBC in...
Put your slide up for you, because Rod...
I'm not ready for my slide.
You're not?
No.
Oh.
Set. We'll be good.
Well, you know yourself anyway.
Okay. So we'll get into IBC as one company. So one brand, one company, one product roadmap, one technology vision, and we've got a lot of work over the next few months to get that done. As you may or may not know, this wasn't really an acquisition. In terms of the way I view it, it wasn't really an acquisition of Snell by Quantel. In fact, we both had the same parent. Both businesses were owned by Lloyd's Development Corporation, and Lloyd's made the decision to put the full entity together as one. So we're still owned by Lloyd's. Lloyd's is kind of a different investor group in that they're owned by a bank. So they have a little bit of a different clock cycle than some of the private equity firms that have funds they need to get in and out of more quickly. So we have two great reputations, strong product portfolio, a loyal customer base, not as large as I'd like, and in many areas we have industry-leading technology. So I think we have a lot of assets. My job is to turn those assets into an industry leader over the next 3 to 5 years. That's kind of my horizon. That's the board's horizon today. And as long as I turn in respectable performance, I think we'll stay with that horizon. But when you're owned by a private equity fund, performance at some level is important to continue with your vision. So I'll be here for questions after. Do you want me to take questions now, or?
No, we'll do it at the end, I think.
We'll do it at the end. And with that, let me turn it over to Neil. Neil?
Thanks. So I've got a few slides to show you, and this is a new experience for me. I've done lots of press conferences, but I've never had too much content to fit in the time available. So it might be a little fast, but it's just to give you headlines. And everything in the press pack, I think there's 16, 17 press releases in the press pack, just to give you an idea of the scale of what we're announcing at the show. So there is significant momentum in all areas of our product portfolio. So we're here at NAB with a major new presence. I'm glad the picture came out. Last time I tried to project this, it was just a black rectangle, so that's good. So we have a very large booth in the South Lower Hall, I think 6,000 square feet, so we're one of the largest presences there. It's the first event where the companies have, since the acquisition, appeared together as a single entity, and we have some amazing stuff on the booth. Just to characterise the show for us, I've distilled it down into 6 themes that we're focusing on. So migration to IP, and within that we're sort of demonstrating sort of a full IP-based workflows for live video on the booth. We have interoperability with other vendors, because the big issue I think for IP is that lots of people can do it in isolation, but people aren't playing nicely together. So we're showing interoperability, and we have a press release about that. Software-based solutions, so as we're moving, whether it's image processing, play-out automation, moving that into pure software solutions that can be data center centric. That's not easy to say. Greater levels of automation, and I'm not talking play-out automation here, I'm talking about sort of workflow orchestration. Combine that with the intelligent and controlled monitoring to allow media businesses to scale in this brave new world. New formats, there's got a lot of talk about UHD and 4K, so we thought we'd come and show 8K just to get ahead of the curve a bit. But I think our 8K demonstration, whilst that's real product going to be shipping this year, that's more a testament to the fact that, you know, our underlying architectures, our servers, our storage are very 4K capable, and we think we're well ahead of the curve in 4K. And then sort of more flexible working. So we've got in various product lines introductions of web-based technology, thin clients allowing remote access to systems and media for more flexible global working. So some great stuff going across, as I say, across the combined product portfolio. So here's the booth tour, and this is the bit that should take about 2.5 hours. Although when we did it, our sales meeting yesterday, it was 7.5, so how are you all for time? I'll do it quickly. So our booth is structured like this, just to give you a feel if you do turn up. Over the next few slides, as I'm talking about different topics and areas, you'll see a little icon of this map in the top corner of the slide to show you, if you're particularly interested in something, where you can find it on this monster booth. So at the centre we have a big theatre, and we have 6 different presentations that cycle through the day, covering you know, topics associated with those 6 key themes that I said for the show. I think some really good stuff there, and if you want to really understand the Quantel and Snell message, these are really sort of quite succinct and punchy ways to sort of digest what we're talking about at the show. Here's next slide's a nice engineering slide for you. So this was done by one of our technology guys, but it's a representation of the IP workflows that we're showing on the booth, and the key thing here, I just highlighted a few things to show you. So our IP messages, it's standard off-the-shelf IP infrastructure at the core of what we're doing. We're showing interoperability with other manufacturers, so it's not a Snell or Quantel only world. We're doing stream-based processing, so there's a lot of software systems out there that will process files, but as we're in the IP world, we need to do real-time stream-based image processing. So, you know, aspect ratio conversion, up-down cross conversion, all that type of stuff now needs to exist in software in the IP world. And then broadcast-centric control. So as broadcasters deploy IP, they can't retrain their whole workforce. We need to represent this new technology so it feels like what they're used to operating in today. 8K production is, we have a good demo here showing real-time editing and sort of processing of 8K video. And just to put that into context, that's 5 gigabytes per second versus 3 gigabits, which is 1080p video. It's quite a sort of monstrous achievement, I think. And it's actual product that's going to be shipping in the third quarter this year, if you want to buy one. New Kahuna range. So our Kahuna range has been completely refreshed across the range. It is the most powerful and flexible switcher from SD through to 4K. We've shown some great 4K demos with Kahuna on the booth, driven by the new Maverick control surface, which is the only truly modular control surface that can be fully flexible and laid out in any way you need for the show or the application. Then new for the show is Kahuna now has an integrated 4K multi-viewer, which just, again, increases the power that we put in a single crate, and just, I honestly don't think anybody can touch us, particularly when you're talking about 4K in terms of the power that we've got in a Kahuna system. Our Series 800 routing range, we've for a while now been talking about the powerful integrated hybrid processing. This is the only system where you get all the options of processing the video and the audio inside the routing switcher without sacrificing inputs and outputs of the routers like our competition do. Then the other thing that's being announced here at the show is input embedding, which I'm not going to go into technicalities of that. I've got some more nice engineering drawings I'll spare you from. But we're the only company that has an architecture that can allow this, and it's impressed our customers because it can save up to 30% of the router capacity when you're handling embedding of audio in a system. So come and talk to us, if you want to know the details of that, come and talk to one of our technical guys on the booth. We have a new standalone multi-view, so we have the integrated multi-viewer in the Kahuna switcher. We have a new standalone multi-viewer, very flexible and capable, and just really rounds off our router and switcher range in terms of the sort of full suite of functionality we can offer. Control panels. So we now have routers that go up to 1152 square. When you're talking about audio, you're then talking about a 37,000 square audio router inside the same box. And you can process all that audio, track, shuffle, swap. So the sophistication and intelligence you then have to map into your control panels is substantially different. So we have intelligent panels with clever search capabilities, audio processing control capabilities, and you can dial up any input and output of these large switches within 4 button presses, which is quite a powerful capability. So we're doing good for time. So on the production side, we have Enterprise SQ, and we've introduced a new core server to the range, which is the SQ1000 series, and that has triggered something pretty fundamental for us, in that new technology has now allowed us to restructure the entire price structure for the Enterprise SQ range, and that works out at a 40% or more total system cost reduction at list price. So we have overnight, we can bring the Quantel systems to whole new markets, and we're expecting to see a lot of activity triggered by that fundamental price restructure. On the back of that, we have the Revolution technology that's been talked about for a while now by Quantel, and it's really come of age. And what that is now bringing the IP and the COTS, off-the-shelf IT hardware solutions, mixed into the production environment. So we're showing on the booth a fully integrated SDI, IP, standard storage, IT-based storage, workflows, all integrated in a common software suite. And we get the same Quantel Frame Magic, ultra-fast production capabilities in the IP and the COTS hardware world too. Sorry, pause for breath. Right. Snell on Demand. So Snell on Demand was launched we announced it about 2 years ago, and we're now on the 2nd generation of this technology. So this is pure software solutions that runs on commodity IT hardware. slides going by themselves now. And it is, we are able to get greater image quality than any other software-based processing out there, up to 4K resolutions, Ultra HD 1. We're doing frame rate conversion. This thing's come alive by itself. We have Quasar OD in the family now, and the price points, if you look at the bottom, it is noteworthy that, you know, a SDI-based Alchemist used to be in the range of $100,000. Here we're talking $16,000 for a superior software solution in the file-based domain. So it clearly wants me to go ahead. So I'm going to talk about ICE now. So ICE, we introduced several new features. The one I've called out here is introducing a hardware control surface that allows us to have conventional master control capability on a channel in a box. So when we're talking about channels such as sort of live sports channels, and we're jumping in and out of commercial breaks following the live action in a game, people still want to have the hardware physical panel, and it has to be highly responsive. So we've introduced this panel. You can drive it just like you would a conventional master control switch now. You've got all the advantages of consolidating the channel into a single box. And the responsiveness is achieved by the panel not only talking to the ICE channel in a box, it also directly talks to the associated routing infrastructure to get really high instant sort of switch capability. So that's generally like, we've been asked for that for some time, so this is, you know, a direct response to sort of customer demand. Associated with that, on the Morpheus automation side, we have several new features. I think that the most interesting one is, we struggled for a name with this, so it's got a real techie name, Schedule Data Miner. But what this does is allows us to build logic into the automation playlist to manipulate content on air. So it allows us to have intelligence to maybe do a now and coming up next graphic by looking at events down the playlist, taking the time from the running playlist, stripping off frames and seconds, rounding it to the nearest minute, and putting that into a graphic on air. And all of that logic can be embedded in the playlist. So that's increasing the level of automation, reducing the chance of operator errors, and, you know, getting close to the 5 or 6 nines on air performance that our customers want. The other two features are introduced into Morpheus by enhanced integration with our Momentum, with our Momentum MAM system. So we now have proxy browse capability of content in the playlist. We have thumbnails in the playlist. So for content assurance in the playlist, people can directly access the content on the UI of the automation playout system. So Momentum, our MAM solution, this has really come of age, I think. We have a whole raft of features that have been rolled out over the last year. Archive support, really flexible multi-language support for multi-track audio, multi-track captioning workflows. We can then have different workflows for different types of essence and maintain the relationship between the video and the audio. So it's got really, really powerful now. We've done a lot of work with the FIMS integration, so in terms of it integrating with open standards, it's much more powerful. Active Directory allows it to integrate into corporate environments far more easily. And then there's really open SDKs allowing other people to interface with the MAM solution. So, media biometrics, again, something we've talked about previously but is now appearing in actual products, shippable products here on the booth. So media biometrics is our signature technology that allows us to analyze media, generate signatures, and then you can check the media at subsequent points in your distribution. So the first products that are coming out are lip sync. So I measure my video and audio at a known good point. Downstream, I measure it again, and I can see if this thing's got life itself. There's a diagram there that's showing the lip sync demo, which further down it can detect whether the video and audio have been offset, and then we can correct it. It's one application. We have another application which is logo detection, so I can detect the right logo is on the right output. I could maybe look if somebody else was airing my content with my logo in it. So there are many, many applications. We have it working live on the booth, and we have our first shipping product here at the show. One of the new UIs that I mentioned that is web-based, we have Quantel Go. So this is a new browser application that gives full access to the Quantel environment. It's HTML5, so it's OS independent, works on Mac or PC. Immediate access to media on a Quantel environment, including growing records. I can search, I can browse, I can subclip, and I can download media all through a web browser. The other thing that's really interesting about Quantel Go, and the feature set in it is going to be rolled out extensively, is it enables new levels of integration with third-party systems. So the other thing we're showing on the booth is Quantel Go embedded inside Adobe Premiere, allowing Adobe Premiere to have full access to a Quantel backend. So that's definitely a demo worth looking at, which is the bottom screenshot is actually Quantel Go embedded inside the Adobe UI. We have our Live Touch highlights system. So this was launched at IBC. We have the first systems actually being deployed with customers in the next few weeks. Headline here is that we have a really intuitive panel. We've had great feedback from operators who are used to other systems. They can learn this panel in literally minutes. And then we have a scalable backend, which is based on the new Quantel server technology, which allows us to scale and cluster all the normal good Quantel stuff. But we have fully integrated editing, so the workflows around highlights are highly optimized with Live Touch in terms of I can create highlights, I can edit them, and I can play them all out, all without having to transfer files between different systems. So you get great content on air faster. Sorry, I'm getting out of breath now. Sorry. New modular products. So we have several new modules in our range. Just to pick out some of the highlights, we have the new cards, the lip sync cards with the media biometrics being launched. We have IP cards in the range, so conversion between SDI and IP. We have 4K UHD cards for processing, doing down conversion. So there's a lot happening in the modular product range as well. And some of the really innovative technologies are appearing first in this range.